Welcome to You, But More Powerful. I'm your host, Rhiannon, and this is your go-to podcast for raw and expansive messages from health, fitness, business, and mindset, and as always, with a little bit of fun sprinkled in. My purpose is to help you step into your most powerful self and build your dream life. You'll gain clarity, connection, and confidence with a whole lot of practical skills along the way. I know you're in exactly the right place to level up, build the body, mindset, and life you absolutely love and thrive in. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to another podcast episode, You But More Powerful. Welcome back for those of you that are returning, and hello to any new listeners. We're going to dive into this one, and this is the mindset that keeps your results. Okay, so you can get a result, but to be able to actually maintain that and have that long-term success, there are a couple of key elements. Now, there's not necessarily like one universal law or rule, but what I have put together today is really the foundations of the mindset that we need. So what is this? A growth mindset, in essence. It's where we embrace our, challenges in a way that we know that we can grow and develop from them. And we believe that our intelligence and our capabilities and our skills are things that can be adapted, okay? We're constantly seeking this learning and feedback. And that's a really important component of our mindset that we require to be able to continue on through life and build that resilience. So when we think about our growth mindset, there's a couple of other things, obviously, to keep the long-term success. It's the belief, our belief systems and our confidence in ourselves, our growth mindset, and being really clear on your goals and your focus, okay? Distracting that noise, right? It's very easy, and I might go on a bit of a tangent in terms of like that noise, but it is very easy to just start to compare what's going on in your life based on what's happening elsewhere. So if you think about going for that scroll, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever kind of medium that you're on, whatever platform, it's like subconsciously you could be comparing your life to these people. You might see people traveling or doing these things and you're like, oh, what's going on? No one knows, like, what have they sacrificed to get there? Are they in debt to be there? Like, what's actually happening in their lives, right? So when we're thinking about our goals, we need to have that focus and that clarity. And that obviously growth mindset and the belief and confidence. So how do all these kind of intertwine? So let's start with the belief and confidence, right? So when we're thinking about this, we need to have a strong confirmation and strong self-belief that we're able and capable, right? And so the way that we cultivate this and the way that we build confidence, and confidence is a huge thing that I work with a lot of women with, is stacking our wins, getting proof, getting, just little bit by little bit, those notches in the belt of you actually doing the thing you said you would, okay? So this is why when I think about coaching, I have non-negotiables. Now, if you're new to this, a non-negotiable is something that you set for yourself that is working towards that bigger long-term picture. And it is an action step that you're going to set for yourself that you're going to get done no matter what. That is your non-negotiable task. And you're going to pass or fail yourself at the end of the week. So you might have identified that your sleep is lacking. All right, my non-negotiable is my phone goes down at 9 p.m. and I'm going to go to bed by 10, right? Irrespective of your outcome for the week, as long as you pass this goal, which is phone down by 9, bed by 10, having a strategy and a way that you can execute this, right? If you do that, you've passed for the week. So you've built that, a little bit of a notch in the belt to go, okay, yeah, I'm the person doing those things. Okay. So really getting in tune with this process that gets us that result. Now we want to set these non-negotiables with our goal and our clarity and with our growth mindset. So you can start to see how these all intertwine. And I do want to just sort of stay to the one and keep it nice and clear, but I just want to introduce you to the topics first. Then we've got the growth mindset. Okay. So there's essentially two mindsets that have been quite popularized by DWECK. If you haven't read the book Mindset, highly, highly, highly recommend. That was a huge one for growth for myself and a lot that I share within the team and, a lot of the foundations when we are developing this growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is essentially thinking, we just are who we are. We're not changeable. We can't develop these skills. Our personality is just like this. We're just forgetful. We're just poor sleepers, right? We're really labeling and boxing ourselves off. The growth mindset essentially tells us, like I mentioned to you before, is that we're able to learn from experiences. We're able to learn from our mistakes. We're able to build our skills, our intelligence, our talent. All of these things can be cultivated with perseverance, with effort, and, intention, essentially, the effort, really just moving forward a little bit by little bit. Then we're looking at that clarity and our focus. So being really clear about our goals, our values, how they're all connected, and being really clear about where we're going. And this helps us have our blinkers on. Okay. Like I said to you before, we can get quite distracted. What's happening in everyone else's life? Okay, well, cool. And if I can share an experience, I've shared before, really just thinking about where I'm at within my business. Okay. There are so many people in the world that are way further along than me, but also they're living a whole different life. Maybe their goals are different. Like, don't compare yourself to the next person. I know that, I could compare to, and this is the nature of the high achieving game, is you're probably comparing to people that are way further along. And yes, to spark a little bit of that, that drive and competitive edge and wanting to be better and do better. But it's like, you're very rarely comparing to down. Just look at where you are and where you were. Whether it be health and fitness, whether it be business, whether it be just career in general, whatever kind of area it is, you really want to get clear on what's your goals, what are your values, and what do you want to achieve? Because it may not be the same to the next person. And the example that I was giving before, the things that I was cultivating and doing in my business and my life are conducive to the events and things that I'm working towards. I'm going to be getting married. I would love to start a family, like all of these things. Not everyone shares that same desire. So who am I to start comparing myself to someone else who doesn't want any of these things? They're running a different race, right? And be proud and happy for these people. But it's really important that we're very clear on ourselves. What do we determine as success? Where are we going? What are we trying to do? Okay. So just having the belief and the confidence in ourselves isn't the thing that's just going to get the result. Just the same as having a growth mindset without any kind of belief and confidence building or any clarity on where you're going. That's not just going to get the result. We need to have that clarity, that focus, that belief, and that growth mindset all combined together to absolutely get in the first place and keep our results. Okay. So this is the mindset that keeps the results. So if we start to have a look at ways that we can cultivate this environment and this mindset, you might be hearing this and going, okay, cool. Thanks for that information, Ree, but now what do I do? Let's dive into a few different things. And before you roll your eyes, hear me out. Mindfulness. Yes, I used to think, mindfulness, whatever, right? Read The Neuroscience of Mindfulness. It really gives the scientific breakdown of things. If you're like me, and if you're listening, chances are you are, and you really resonate with that stuff, a little bit of the mix of the, science and the woo, right? Really articulates, clearly what the science behind all of this stuff. Okay. So the neuroscience of mindfulness is literally in the name. So go and read that now. I'll leave a note in the show notes that just says, these are the book recommendations that I've got. But basically, when we're looking at these mindfulness strategies, these are really helpful to bring ourselves present. And I know through practicing this stuff myself and developing and changing this, and again, having a growth mindset around mindfulness, right? Adopting this strategy. Okay. So even if I'm not good at it now, I can, I could be if I want to. Okay. And don't knock it till you tried it. If you haven't tried these things, give it a go, give it a red hot crack. Try and build those notches in the belt and the confidence and the belief and the skills, and then revisit. Yeah. Now, one thing isn't going to work for everyone. So when I'm talking about this mindfulness, it is important when it comes to our belief in ourselves and our belief systems and our confidence. If we're constantly belittling ourselves and, negative hate, poor self-talk, limiting beliefs, all of this, I can't do this, I can't do that, right? That is not going to get us where we want to be. That's not going to be building confidence. That's going backwards, right? So for, developing our belief and our confidence, we want to practice certain things, right? So, more positive self-talk, okay? Or reframing the way that we're discussing things. Maybe we're using positive affirmations. Maybe that's really important to us. Maybe we use visualization techniques. Maybe we use breathing techniques to really just bring ourselves back to the here and now, reconnect with the clarity and the goal, and really just move more into that growth mindset. Okay. So again, lots of different mindfulness strategies that you can try. I highly recommend anyone that I'm working with, or if you're listening to this, is go and do the the love languages test. This is a really, really helpful one. Find out what your love languages are, and then actually use these as part of your practices. Now, what do I mean by this? So say, for example, words of affirmation is your love language, right? Having affirmations or I even have them on my vision board on this screen over here, having actual written affirmations like I am succeeding in life, right? Reading these things, it's like that's looking after and talking to ourselves in that love language. Maybe your love language is, physical touch. So maybe it's having more mindful showers where you're actually like being present with like you touching your arm and, using the soap or whatever it may be, feeling the water running down, even some of the visualization techniques. I've done a couple, again, tried all these things out. Again, what have you got to lose? Like literally, what do you have to lose? Like ask yourself these questions. What do I have to lose by doing it? So fuck it. Let's give it a go, right? So utilizing your love language to love yourself or have these mindfulness practices and doing some things that are aligned. Okay. So really, workshopping that. If anyone has any questions, if you go and do the quiz and you're like, hey, how do I, connect this with my mindfulness? Absolutely flick me through a DM. I would love to chat a little bit more in detail, but really just getting these mindfulness strategies in check to be very, very helpful. Now, looking at growth mindset, right? So some ways that we can kind of move into this. Again, a big one that I use is changing our wording. So if I say, because you're not going to catch it straight off the bat, okay? So we need to change our wording and go, I'm not good at this. Just add the word yet to the end of that. Just start to do that. So when you catch yourself with a limiting phrase and a fixed mindset and go, I'm not good at that. I caught myself in the gym this morning. I was like, I might just play around. And then I was like, I can't do that. And I challenged the belief and I went, I can't do that yet. And how will I know if I don't try? Honestly, it was just a power clean, something that I've never really done. I've never really trained any kind of like Olympic lifting style stuff. And I thought, I'm just going to give it a go. What do I have to lose? And again, I've, developed my skills over time where I'm confident in my form and my technique. And obviously I, coach this, so we would hope so. And I was like, okay, well, set myself up, blah, 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 give it a go. Wow. I was actually quite impressed. To be honest, I was really shocked. I was like, okay. And again, there's a little confidence thing. It's a little notch in the belt to go, okay, well, I'm the person that just gives things a go. And even if I'm not good at it yet, I can develop the skills. And by all means, I won't be doing any competition anytime soon. Let me make that clear. However, I was like, I shocked myself. And guess what? I could have been also really crap at it. But the best thing about that is that you can make some quick progress. I am kind of like going off topic here, but I really just want to start to, share this. And, I, for one, this is something that I really do take for granted, how much work that I have done prior to getting to this point now, that it comes so natural. So you may need to dedicate time at the end of your day to really reflect on these things. But I promise you, I was the person who I had to do this stuff too. I had to journal things out, reflect, question, get curious, be like, what is going on? I've been to therapy. Like there's been so much self-work that I've done to get myself to a position where I can actually have these conversations split in the moment, really bring myself presence. And I cannot stress to you how much my life has changed. And I really want you guys to experience that. Like anyone that is listening to this, I just want you to know that it's possible and I want you to achieve it. Like that is my big driving factor. Okay. As we said, I can talk a lot, but I was like, let's just go through it. So when we're thinking about our growth mindset, really easy way to be able to do this is just add the words yet. So even now, reflect today, pen, paper, get it out and go, okay, what did I limit myself to? Or what did I stop myself from doing? Or what kind of conversations did I have today? Or who did I talk to? What kind of words was I using? Was I saying, I'm not good at that? Or, I can't? Or, blah, blah, blah. I want you to start really thinking about this stuff and starting to challenge it, okay? And then embracing failures, and quotation marks for those that are just listening to this, failures as opportunities for growth. Okay. We can improve rather than fearing failure. Like honestly, if you're building muscle and wanting to build muscle, it is literally all about failure. Right? We want failure everywhere, failure in the gym, like all of these things. Okay. So we want to embrace these challenges. They give us the place to develop new skills and expand our capabilities. And, that's something that I practiced this morning. Like I said to you, it's just like, what have I got to lose? Is a power clean in the programming that I'm currently doing? Absolutely not. But what do I have to lose today? I wasn't doing any kind of, just wanted to see if I could do it. So why not? I hope you're enjoying this episode. I just wanted to take a quick break to let you know how you can work with me. I currently have places inside of the Glow Up program. If you don't know what this is, it is a completely personalized programming, nutrition, and education online coaching service. I've specifically designed this to help women get strong and shape their physique, whether that's lose fat, build muscle, or both. The Glow Up is best suited for women who love lifting, but haven't ever had their programming or nutrition customized specifically to them. Maybe you've dabbled in some classes or you've seen some results from PDFs and other app programs. You want to get better, more efficient, and long-term sustainable results, all whilst learning a whole heap about your body along the way. Maybe you've had a coach before, but you're still struggling with overtraining, under-eating, and that all or nothing fixed mindset approach. Nothing is ever good enough, and you want to be able to hit those results without constantly crashing and burning, or just burning the candle at both ends. To claim your spot, DM me the Glow Up on Instagram or hit the show notes for your application form. I'll be in touch to let you know if we're a good fit. I might actually do a podcast episode separate to kind of how my training is going at the moment. But if you are following me on my PT with Ree Instagram, you'll be able to keep up to date with some training. I've really shifted, moving into more of like a hybrid approach, given that we're doing our Spartan race military style 10K obstacle course after I'm getting back from a working holiday. So it's going to be quite, actually go and keep up to date with that. Anyway, I am going completely off topic, but would it be a You But More Powerful podcast if we were super, super structured? Absolutely not. So the other thing is like when we're learning to be, develop and be in this growth mindset is that we want to seek out feedback. So we want to ask like, how can I improve? Ask mentors, ask your peers, ask people obviously that you value their opinion or, you aspire to be like or whatever it may be, but just being open-minded to criticism. Okay. Constructive criticism, right? So we don't want to just be taking criticism left, right, and center and buying into all this sort of stuff. But, it can provide really valuable insights. And if you drop the ego and be like, you know what, if I'm the student and I didn't know anything and I just let myself be that for a moment, what would that look like? What would I be open to hearing? And then hear that and be like, okay. And then again, being present, making your own decisions after that, absolutely fine. But just being open to this stuff, you might realize that you're actually able to develop your skills even further. Like start to think about what can I gain from this experience? What could I gain from hearing this criticism? And, I'm going to just throw in a random one here. I didn't even plan this, but when we're thinking about criticism, we can also look at it in this way and go, okay, even if you receive a certain type of criticism and you're like, you know what, I don't really agree with that. And that person isn't necessarily someone that I'm looking to learn from, their life isn't kind of where I want to be. That's absolutely fine. You haven't lost anything. If anything, you've actually gained the skill to be really reflective and go, okay, absolutely appreciate you can have your opinion. And, thank you for, sharing that with me. Doesn't mean you have to take it on, right? So now you're also developing another skill of being able to just kind of like let some things go to the keeper and be like, you know what? Cool. Like, thank you for sharing, but I'm not going to take it on board. And that's a really powerful thing. Like rather than getting your back up and getting your ego involved, or just not taking it on in the first place. There's opportunities to grow and learn. And even the ones that you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not really going to do that. You've still learned something. Like you haven't lost anything. I think that's a really big, important piece of the puzzle. So then if we move on to our goals and our focus, okay, so there will be a link in the description or the show notes that is going to show you exactly how to work through your goals. I promise you the men and women that have taken the time to work through this have honestly gotten the best results, whether it be us working together or whether they're, doing something and found that passion and drive for something else. This goal setting strategy and way can absolutely be used for all different areas. Doesn't just have to be health and fitness related. And it's so important. It moves away from just specifically the SMART goals, obviously being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. We can really get clear on the actual goal, all the ins and outs, connect all the dots so we have that intrinsic motivation as well. So go and check that out. Allow about 40 minutes, take some time, really workshop through it. I do it quarterly. My team do it quarterly. Game changer. So when we're able to have real clarity on the goal and the process to achieve these goals, and we've broken these things down, we're able then to prioritize the right things and eliminate our distractions, okay? Because once we identify what are the most important tasks that are actually aligning with our goal and our long-term vision, we're able then to create our daily, our weekly sort of structures, our non-negotiables, and we're able to have the ability to say yes to certain things, say no to others, because we're really clear on what we need to do to get this result, right? So we're able to then sort of minimize any of that noise and the distractions, or when we know, okay, this is the time to focus, like this example here, I'm like, cool, phone off, airplane mode, whatever it may be, or, okay, I've got to get up at this time so I can get X, Y, and Z all done before I go here, right? Getting really, really clear on all of that sort of stuff. And if you haven't already, go and listen to my productivity podcast episode. Highly, highly recommend. Very, very useful, very helpful. And again, a perfect example of me adopting the growth mindset, which you absolutely can too. And I used to be the person who was absolutely horrifically unorganized and now complimented on organization. Okay. So you can do this stuff. Okay. So when we're looking at all this sort of stuff to tie it all together, we're really talking about, our beliefs, our confidence, building all that sort of stuff, adopting the growth mindset, and really getting clear on our goals, our focus. And in essence, with all of this, to tie it all together, resilience. Okay. Resilience is the ability to be able to bounce back from a situation or a challenge or an obstacle and be able to still maintain a positive outlook or mindset in the face of adversity. And I don't mean this in a toxic, positive way. I mean it in a way of like being able to find that silver lining, being able to embrace the process, embrace the challenges, building that mental toughness is so crucial when it comes to the commitment to your goals, commitment to yourself, overcoming the obstacles, being able to maintain consistency. Remember, 100% effort every now and then absolutely does not beat 80% effort year round, right? We need that consistency in our journey, okay? So how do we build a bit of that resilience? We really need to make sure that we are setting our realistic goals, yeah? So we need to set the realistic goals, reverse engineer those goals, really embrace that process. And again, developing all of these skills through our positive self-talk, our mindfulness strategies, adopting the growth mindset, seeking out feedback, seeking out ways to improve. Practicing self-compassion. This is really important. High standards without self-compassion is essentially just self-bullying. And that's not what we want to be doing. Okay. So we want to be able to learn from our mistakes, learn from our setbacks, and grow. And how do we do this when life is so fast and full paced? I personally like to, utilize journaling. Some people like the pen to paper. As I always say, just do the damn thing. If you're putting things off because you're waiting for this perfect time to be kicked back and have this beautiful meditation space and it's not working, just get your notes out on your phone, start typing. That's what I do. You're going to change and develop these things over time. Even looking around here, maybe you want to pick up there's plenty of those, journal prompts. I know that I've picked up some from Typo before. They're very helpful just to kind of get the juices flowing, so to speak, and really get curious around what's happening, and being able to reflect on this stuff and bring yourself just to a present moment. And be like, okay, what actually went really well today? What didn't go so well? Even now, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about all the things that have happened for myself today. And I was like, I actually want to journal about that because there's been a lot of stuff, like a lot of go, go, go. And bringing that stillness allows you to process and be like, okay, did I operate how I wanted to? Could I have done X, Y, and Z? What could I have done differently? Did this, play out? Okay, what am I going to do differently next time? And essentially the way that I operate inside of my Glow Up coaching is that we have a mini version of this on a weekly basis. So we get all of our objective data, the actual facts of like what's happening, our, food and our measurements and movement and all that kind of stuff. But then we're also getting that subjective thing of like, how did we perform? How was our nutrition? What's our win for the week? And what have we actually identified needs work? What needs our attention? Right? What needs our attention and what steps are we going to take? And then tying this all in together with our goals, developing the belief, the confidence, we're stacking our wins, we're moving into that growth mindset, we're building the mental toughness and resilience, and we're literally achieving the goal. So all of these things in together Having the accountability is huge. It's massive, right? But when we think about, today's actual podcast episode, all about the mindset that keeps the result, because you can't create this new lifestyle and this new version of you and go back to the old you and expect to maintain the result. It's not how it works, right? We're developing and creating a newer, more powerful, amazing version of ourselves each and every step of the way. This is why consistency, modifying things little bit by little bit, getting really clear, cultivating this new place and space for yourself. You got to say goodbye to the old version of you, right? We're new and improved, and we keep improving from there. Because if you're not growing, you're dying, right? We don't want to be dying. We want to be continually growing. So again, developing this over time, creating this new version, you will look back and be like, wow, night and day. Like I can say this because I look back and think, me 10 years ago, completely different person. Like a lot of core values and things like that, still essentially the same, but crazy how life has shifted and changed. And I know that if I have done this, you guys absolutely can. So to sum up today, that is the mindset that keeps the results. I hope it has been helpful. Go back, revisit, get curious, start journaling, get the prompts and things out, do your love languages quiz, have a look at that. And I open up the conversation in the DMs. You guys will find me there. But as always, until next time, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you for listening to the You, But More Powerful podcast. If you're determined to continue to expand and grow and reach heights you never thought were possible, you'll want to make sure you're subscribed so you'll never miss out on a single episode. If you loved today's, I would absolutely love your feedback and to see you tag @YouButMorePowerful_podcast on Instagram. See you guys in the next episode.